Hi guys, so today I'm going to be participating in the Nonfiction on Booktube tab. Oh no, not again. Hi guys, so today I'm going to be taking part in the Nonfiction on Booktube tag. And I'm going to be answering some questions as it relates to nonfiction on Booktube. So let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me, my name is Rachel. You can hit that subscribe button so you never miss a thing. Today I'm going to be taking part in the Nonfiction on Booktube tag. I was tagged by Sandra from Pull Down the Moon. I'm going to put her channel link in my description box below so you can check out her channel as well. I'm going to be answering some questions as it relates to nonfiction on Booktube. I think there are about 10 questions, yes, so I'm going to read them out and answer them so that you guys get to know me better from the nonfiction light. Nonfiction has been one of the best genres that I've ever delved into. In fact, at one point I only used to read nonfiction, so I really love nonfiction. Now I'm beginning to learn how to mix it up. So let's start. Number one is, how much nonfiction do you read? Well, like I said, I read a lot of nonfiction. Like, I really love nonfiction. And nonfiction to me is not just about self-help books. I guess there's a question that actually answers that. So yeah, to answer that question, I read a lot of nonfiction. Number two is, what kind of nonfiction videos do you want to make on Booktube? Well, I think for nonfiction, I'd like to make like book reviews on self-help books, for example, motivational videos in that light of book reviews, which I've already done two. One was Who Moved My Cheese, and the other one was on Jen Sincero's You Are a Badass. And I sort of used those videos as a way to motivate people. So I like motivational and inspirational content a lot, so I like to put them out on Booktube. So those are the kind of videos that I hope to continue to make. And then even as it relates to other genres of nonfiction, like maybe memoirs or essays or historical nonfiction or autobiographies, if I'm able to connect with any of the authors, I would definitely love to interview them and make such videos on my channel, have some sort of book chat with the authors on it. So those are the kind of videos that I like to make and that I hope to make in the near future. The next question is, what is your favorite subgenre of nonfiction? Okay, definitely I love self-help books. I love self-help and motivational books, but I'm always careful about the kind of self-help books that I read, because I do a lot of research before I buy a book, and I don't just buy any self-help book. So if you're there telling me how to make $5 billion and you clearly look like you have $500,000 to your name, like, I'm not going to read your self-help book because you don't know what you're talking about, and that's the truth. And I'm not going to read, the truth about it is that you also have to be careful of the kind of content that you let into your mind. And I know that Marina talked about this on her YouTube channel. She tries to guard her space jealously, and I totally understand that. So if I read a self-help book that is personal and the person is just sort of inflaming their strengths, and you told me that you were going to share your weaknesses or maybe some part of your weaknesses and how you overcame that, and then the book is just trying to highlight all the good things you've done in life, I'm probably not going to pick up that book. But if it's something that is not personal but is motivational to me and you're sharing tips, I'll probably read it and I can apply it to myself. But in reading self-help, I'm also careful not to take in too much unrealistic content or to look for content that particularly applies to me. Sometimes it's written by maybe white authors or people that live in maybe America, and there's certain things that they may write in their self-help books that do not apply to me as a Nigerian or as an African. So I'm always careful in my selection of self-help books that I read. Also, I like to read political nonfiction, historical nonfiction, and I know that I've read Soldiers of Fortune by Max Yolun and a couple of others, and I really enjoyed them. I also love reading autobiographies. I love reading autobiographies. I love Trevor Noah's Born a Crime. I started Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I'm hoping that I would finish soon because it had a slow start. But I love when I watch interviews or I read books or I listen to audiobooks by people who have done stuff or who are just talking about themselves and they have a funny edge to it or a nice edge to it. Then I love such subgenres of nonfiction. Do I have a favorite nonfiction book? Yes, well, I would say on the autobiographical front, Trevor Noah's Born a Crime is amazing. I love that one. On the self-help book, obviously, you guys know me. The Four Agreements is my favorite book of all time. I would give some other recommendations. I know that I gave some recommendations of 5 short self-help books, which are all non-fiction that you can. Okay, well, no, some of them are not non-fiction. Some of them are fiction, but they're self-help books, and self-help tends to be under non-fiction sometimes. Depends. But yeah, the Four Agreements and Trevor Noah's Born a Crime, I really love those ones. Then what do you think keeps people from wanting to read more non-fiction? I think that non-fiction tends to be a little bit too serious for some people. A lot of people love to read for the escape that fiction brings and the entertainment that it brings. And to be honest, if you're not really in the frame of mind to pick up a non-fiction book, if you're not really in the frame of mind to learn more, maybe historical non-fiction about a particular group of people or a country, then you will not be encouraged to pick up that book. That's just the truth. If you don't really want to know about the life of some celebrity who has written an autobiography or a memoir or something like that, then you're not going to pick up that book. So I think that people really love the escape that fiction brings, the entertainment, the creating an alternate universe that it brings. And so people just like to guard what sort of content that they take into themselves, because somebody can come and say they're a life coach and then they're feeding you with a whole bunch of things that you cannot even put into practice in your life, and you're just like, what am I reading? So some people also try to guard their space, like Marina said, jealously, and guard the things that enter into their heads. And fiction is just an easier route to go to if you want entertainment. So I think that that's the reason why people don't really tend to read a lot of non-fiction. Number 6, why do I like non-fiction? Ooh, I like non-fiction because I think, one, I've learned so much from non-fiction. Like, I've learned a whole lot in terms of personal discipline, mastery of self. That's another amazing book that I read, and I did a review on that one, so you guys can check that out. Mastery of Self was such a great book. Just learning how to master myself, learning a lot of personal discipline. It's not always, I think in life generally, like, there's so much knowledge in books, and it's just about picking the right book for you to learn how to have a better life, learning not to take things personal. It's not everything that you discuss with people that you get to learn from maybe their own situations. And I feel like somebody can live a life maybe of 70 years and then write a book about things that they've learned. You're able to learn their lessons from life. You're able to prevent making mistakes. You're able to learn how to deal with other people. So I like nonfiction mostly for the knowledge that I get from it. And also in terms of maybe like historical nonfiction, I love history. I love history about places, about people. I love getting to know more about someone. Like, I feel like I know them, but I don't really know them because they're afar, or they're a celebrity or something like that. So I like it for the knowledge and for just the history, even in terms of biographies, autobiographies, and those type of things. So I really like nonfiction. What's a nonfiction book you read because of Booktube? I'm going to read one, which is Atomic Habits. I saw that first on Booktube and I've gotten it, so I'm going to read it in the month of June. So I'll let you guys know how that goes. What's the best nonfiction book you've read lately? Yes, I'm telling the truth, but I'm lying, by theCEP. It's a memoir and essays, and it's such an amazing book. I really, really loved it. I did a review on it, so you guys can check that out. What are some of your nonfiction reading goals? Honestly, I don't really have any nonfiction reading goals for 2020. I know that I have a plan to read 50 books for the year 2020, but I haven't really split that into the amount of books that I want to read for nonfiction, so I don't really know. But I'm just going to read as much nonfiction as I can this year and just have fun while I'm doing it. The last question is, what's your advice for incorporating more nonfiction into your reading diet? Honestly, I don't know if I can incorporate any more nonfiction. I think that I'm okay in terms of the nonfiction that I read because I actually like the genre and I don't have a problem with it. So, but I think that I can read more autobiographies and more historical nonfictions, which I obviously know that I like. So I know that I can read more of that, and I'm interested to read that. In terms of even watching, I love watching documentaries, so I know that anything documentary like I would love to read. Okay, the bonus is give some recommendations of non-fiction booktube channels that you love. Okay, so I cannot think of any at the top of my head, but I'm definitely going to include their links in the description box below. So thank you so much for watching my non-fiction on booktube tag. Whew, that is just a stress. If you love nonfiction or you're looking to get into nonfiction, please let me know in the comments. If there are any fun, interesting nonfiction books that you're reading at the moment, please let me know as well. And you can leave a thumbs up if you love this video. I will see you in my next video. Bye.